Hello, my name is Don and welcome to episode 16 of Motorsport Manager. I hope that's right, it is. Today we've got a political vote, we've got some new sponsors to get, and we've got a race in Milan where I'm trying to think, how did we do earlier in the season? 8th and 14th. I'm sure I got the strategy wrong that race, I might be wrong. But I do have my setup for this race from last season, which means I won't have to use my Chariot one. It was sort of about this time that I used to play the EA Sports F1 Manager back in the day. I'm actually going to just abstain this vote as well. I know I said I was saving my votes for this, but I was thinking about it and I'm like, I don't actually mind saving the money to build for the factory, so I'm just, and by the looks of it, people might vote against it. It does say it will benefit us, but I'm just going to abstain. But yeah, basically, I used to play the EA Sport F1 Manager back in the day. That was the one with the licenses and all that. And as you can see, we'd have lost here unless we used at least 3 of our votes. Well, 2 would have got to the tiebreaker, but I think abstaining was fine, and it still saves you money next season. And the fact that we have technically the worst car, one of the worst cars in the grid at the start, means that I suspect we're not maybe getting as much boost as what I thought from last season's car to this year's car, well, next season's car, as what I thought we would, to be honest. I thought we'd be pushing further up, but still saying we've got the 6th best engine, and that new engine, well, that's that engine, sorry, never mind. That's spec next year. Yeah, gearbox we weren't going to improve. Brakes though, I thought would be fairly good. They're not quite full yet, but maybe it's because we're not putting a kart in the suspension as well. That's already maxed at 302, which is, I'm sure from watching other series, is like next year's up. But yeah, basically back in the day when I played that game, I used to write every setup down every season. We're just going to take that 2nd or above, because that's a nice little booster. And for this one, we were wanting one that's decent. Do we risk the 4th or above because it's more money? I think we do. It's an extra 100,000 per race. Look daft if we finish 5th in some races, but we've had a 2nd and a 1st in the last 2 races. So, and going into next season, 4th is where I'm going to be targeting. In fact, it actually gives us more for finishing 4th than it does for that one for coming 2nd, so it's not that bad. This one will be this one's last race, and this one's last race, so hopefully we can get better sponsors there. But yeah, basically I used to write my setups down all the time, and I did in my main series on the, well, my personal save, sorry, which is sort of what I'd call my main save. My Latin's got a cold. Great. Peyton Burgess scouting report, we'll have a look at that. But yeah, so I used to write everything down. And it didn't really work out. Well, it sort of helped from season to season. And for whatever reason, I think it's because I've been recording, I've not been writing my setups down here. And I've got all these other videos, and I was just thinking to myself, why don't I go walk back, watch my last video at this race, rather than looking at my notes for my personal save, because some of the tracks are different, even if it is just subtly different. Like, I think one of the tracks has about 7 layouts or something. There's 4 there, 2 with that one, although I think they're both the same. Is it Munich? No, that's 4. That's only 1, so that would be the same. Let's check that. Yeah, there you go. There's 6 different layouts of the Black Sea track. Now, while I imagine the setups will have some correlation, you can see track B has so much more longer straights. So you would want more top speed than on any of the other ones, which would be maybe a bit more acceleration based. So I thought to myself, there was one race where I used it and I think I got a couple of good and maybe a couple of greats, and it was like, meh, it's okay. And I would just rather have the, if we've got a really good setup, like normally I would in practice I hit 90%. I've not been able to do the practice as much this season because I'm just so focused on next season. I just wanted to get through it, and I don't really enjoy practice that much either. I think it's a really boring part of the game. So if I can go back and watch last season's video, which is what I've done to get this race's set up, then it's going to just save me a bit of time. I can probably even just skip the practice and not have to completely bore myself with it, because I really don't enjoy it at all. It's the one part of the game I don't like. But I don't like qualifying. I think qualifying is horrible as well. Not going anywhere near a guy with 0% marketability. But yeah, basically that's what I'm sort of thinking, really. Rumours of El Sadat's departure from Archer, blah blah blah. So I'll go back, I'll get my setup from last year, whichever one was best on the two cars. Factory staff idle, I meant to do that in the last thing. I came off it and I have to do that as well. So what do we want to improve? Is there anything left to improve on either car? Nope. Guess I could improve that gearbox, so that'll get done. So anything else worth improving? Because none of it's going to carry over till next season. So I guess you just do the reliability for the two spec parts to get them up to 100%. I'm not really sure. Obviously the 4 parts will help us fill out more parts more consistently, but particularly when there's more races. But this year we've just burnt through everything, and obviously we've not had as many upgrades as maybe we would have liked. I definitely cannot improve this any further, can I? Do it. Yeah, that's what I've got already. I wonder if we're to go think. Did that open up that extra slot? No, it doesn't. Right, never mind, that's sort of that. Out the window. Debating before this season ends, upgrading this, or building a, is it a forecast centre? There, which is 6 million, so 2 million different, both have different benefits. I don't know. I've just sort of talked my way up to this race, so I'll select the new sponsor, which is 900,000, but we need 4th. No upgrades, of course, but they are now both content. He is at 0%, so he's fairly happy with where the car is, and she's at -7, so she's fairly unhappy, but it's enough that she's not going to lose morale. And she's only -2 against Sergio, where he's +6, so that's good news. So I'm going to go away, get my setup from last season, and basically just skip practice because I cannot be bothered with it anymore. It's just, I don't enjoy it. I enjoy it more than I enjoy qualifying, but I'm just sitting here literally on it full, just trying to get whatever I can out. So that plan didn't work. This is a setup I used last year on this race, and straight away you can see he's not going to like it. So what I'm going to do is just try this. I would have to do the practice, but it's going to be frustrating. It will be a 21 lap race, I believe, so we're going to go for just a one-stop strategy on the mediums, and then a soft at the end. Might be worthwhile. Although this is a track where it's fairly easy to overtake actually, so I think I'm going to go for the extra stop. And again, we'll just do that, and then -1, because that is exactly what I used last year on this, was the 75, and nothing else changed. There is tracks like that where you don't have to change too much, and this is obviously one of them. Sadly, I was hoping just to skip the practice because I'm really not enjoying practice anymore. Obviously it's a part of F1, or motorsport in general, but it's just not enjoyable as a management sim. Just send them out for 15 minutes, or 12 minutes in this case, and just sit and let them do what they do, and you control literally nothing of it, apart from when they come in and how many laps they do. So that's frustrating, but it is what it is. I got through practice in the end. I had to make some changes to the setup for Sergio, not too many, in fact none for Milan. Milan was fairly happy with it. I don't know if I made the right changes to Sergio, because it just sort of gave me the same sort of radio feedback as what he had previously, which was okay. The only reason why I brought them in was because we needed to change the tyres, so we got the 10% on both. But we wouldn't have done that if we didn't change the tyres. Setup wise, okay, he's really happy with the changes. As you see, the only thing I changed really was gear ratio went up 1, the wings went up 0.5, so 94% there. It was a 92% setup on, I think it was Milan last year. I'm going to go 7-7-7 here, 7-14-21 here. Obviously a safety car would benefit us, I think, with that strategy as well. And I'm going to do that on both drivers. And I think that means we can attack a bit as well. Yeah, it does. Because we can't make a one-stop strategy work on either car, so we might as well try and make something work. And I think a one-stop is the way to go. A two-stop even. Because this track is okay for overtaking, as we've seen in the past. There's a couple of long straights where you can breeze past a slower car. So we can start an attack as well. And we're only a 10th off Saha in practice, which is a lot better than what it's been previously. And I suspect he uses the attack mode as well. So, okay start for Valdez, poor start from Maya, who's dropped down the pecking order a little bit. Another bit of in-game lag there, that's very unusual, that's twice in 2 episodes, but I'm not sure why, as Valdez gets caught up and held up a lot there. Maya's back on the charge and back up into 9th. Hopefully Sergio can follow her lead and get a couple of places he can. He is up into 16th now, so we're going to drop too high on both. Will mean we burn out tyres here, but I don't mind that. Oh, what a move from Maya there. Sergio up into 14th as well. Oh, Maya's now up into 3rd and chasing the Predator car of Evans, and is now past that into 2nd. Valdez still 14th. So hopefully she can close up to Dreyfus and get past, and maybe just sail off into the distance a little bit. And Valdez held up again at that corner. Maya made a big overtake of about 4 or 5 cars at that corner a couple of laps ago. Valdez isn't making it work at all. But yeah, so basically my plan is just to burn out tyres as much as we can here. Oh, come on Sergio, man. You're only really good at getting overtakes done. Or at least you have been recently. He's getting held up so much at that corner by whoever's in front. He is now past that Predator, so hopefully it was just that Predator that was slowing him down. He's held up a little bit there. And he's ahead going into this corner this time, so no hold up there, and just close it. You can see how much he's been held up in that traffic as he just closes up, and now again held up there as 2 cars sort of went abreast, and he was faster than both of them and couldn't get past either. Maya's actually losing ground to Dreyfus, so that's unfortunate. Dreyfus is also not pushing, although she just gained a chunk there. Not sure what happened, but yeah, so Dreyfus is pulling away here and on the straights maybe. No, because we pulled back on that straight, which is strange. So we're going to pit Maya. Hopefully there's enough gap between them, because we cannot double stack here. So we're going to go same strategy. How much fuel she actually having? Cancel. How much fuel she's going to have when she comes in? 0.9 laps. So yeah, we can have a bit less fuel than what we had in her. And we're going to put her to overtake mode. And we'll do the same for Valdez. Tyres didn't actually burn out. They did get hot. They have got hot, but they've not burnt out. And again, exact same stop on Valdez's car. He's actually the exact same strategy as Maya. So Valdez has gone purple on 2 sectors here as well. But he's not going to get the fastest lap, because Van Annen's slowing him down a lot. And unfortunately the stack didn't work, as Maya held him up just a little bit. Comes out in 19th. We've obviously got fresher tyres now, so hopefully we don't get held up too much. by slower cars. In fact, that Predator just got out of the way fairly nicely, so we're out 19th and 20th, already up to 18th and 20th, but every car has to stop, so hopefully an undercut works on all these cars with our fresh air. Back up to 11th already with Maya. Cars in front still have to stop. In fact, it's medium runners ahead of Gatto, Antonov and Mori, before Sahat even further ahead on mediums. I suspect he's going to one stop though, and we're not fast enough to take out all that time on him. I suspect he'll be mega fast on the super softs if that's what he's doing. Maya already back into 7th, just through the stops. Hopefully Jean Sador doesn't get past. Valdez down in 11th though, which isn't good. In fact, Jean Sador's going to go past nice and easy there. Need Valdez to start making up places. That little stop that he had, well, the little hold up at the stop he had has cost him dearly. Although he is gaining on Maya, so it shows that he is the faster driver, although he is in a faster car as well, of course. He is catching up to that pack. In fact, he's already caught up. I'm not going to tell Maya to move out the way, I'm just going to tell her to keep racing, because I don't want to slow her up too much on a track that's got long straights, and Valdez should just cruise past naturally. But he's now gained that pit stop on some of those medium runners. Jean Sador's maybe going reverse of it. In fact, I'm going to tell Maya to let him pass because there's no team in sight. He's not held her up too much. And Valdez already on the heels of Antonov in front. So hopefully we can make this strategy work. Sahaz made his one and only, what I suspect is his one and only stop, and I suspect Jean Sador has as well. So I think a podium's probably the best we can hope for here, in terms of third probably with this strategy, but I didn't really want to run the mediums because this track is okay for overtaking. Not brilliant, but okay. And we've actually gone longer on this stint than I meant to. And we're going to have to pit both this lap because I have boobed. I should have pitted one last lap, and I didn't. And now we're going to have to stack again because there's not a big enough gap between the two of them. Yeah, it's a 10-second pit stop, so Maya's going to lose 5 seconds here. And we wouldn't have hit the limiter of the tyre burn as well if we had pitted that lap earlier like we were supposed to. Messed it up, guys, messed it up. So Maya comes in and will be held up, and add an extra 1.6 seconds to that hold up because Valdez had a poor pit stop. He comes out in 10th. The car in front's got to pit, which is frustrating. The car behind's got to stop. Tyres in front aren't looking great, so Maya lost a lot of ground and now has medium runners to go past. It's balanced itself out in terms of that both the drivers are too close. Sergio back up into 7th, 9 seconds behind Cavalcanti and Mori. Cavalcanti's tyres aren't great. Have we got enough laps to catch them is really the worry. So we're taking time out of them, just is it enough? And Cavalcanti's actually starting to fall back from Mori now as well. Although he's gaining again now. What's wrong with your rear wing? Your rear wing is fine. Sounds like she's had a little bump somewhere. We have caught this pack here of Dreyfus and Cavalcanti. So how far is Mori down the road from them, I wonder? Because he was fairly close before, because he was the one that Cavalcanti was fighting with. Valdez has made light work of them. He's 7 seconds behind Mori with 2 laps to go. I don't see him catching him, which is, or her, I can't remember if Mori's a him, he or a she, which is unfortunate. Ingledew's tyres might go though. John Sudur's tyres might go, so some hope that this strategy works. But it looks like we should have taken that 5th place sponsorship for this race, which we didn't have, which I didn't take because I felt it wasn't a great option. Yeah, sadly it looks like even if their tyres have gone, they've got across the line. 5th and 14th. Disappointing result here, but it sort of matches what we've done earlier in the season. 14th actually. Maya got past someone right at the end, so disappointing. But we have to live with it. So 5th and 14th confirmed unless there's any scrutineering things, which I don't think we've gained from at all this season. Someone did get caught, but sadly wasn't demoted enough. Was Sabado actually in the Firebirds? We maybe gained a few points on them. 19 points they gained. Yeah, so we've gained a couple of points over Firebird. We've actually lost points to Vexler though, so we've actually dropped a position. Frustrating that. Double points next race at the Black Sea, of course. So if we get a good result there, we can still jump up to 3rd. 4th, of course, was my personal target. I would take 5th, but I kind of wanted to be top 4. Although reliability was an issue for us earlier in the season, markability has gone up as well, up 1.67%. And 900,000 for that race still, despite not hitting the bonus. Saha is just far too good. I will leave this episode here, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked, a like and subscribe is always appreciated. And until next time, I hope to see you then.